Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning in to another episode of Level Up with Larry and Leo, where we transform challenges into opportunities and dreams into realities. I'm Larry, and as always, joined by the co-host of the show, the mastermind, Mr. Leo. And today we're discussing a critical aspect of business success, time management, and how to set your schedule up for success.
We
Leo, it's great to have you here for another important conversation. How you doing?
doing wonderful, wonderful. Man, this is a great topic, something I'm ready to get into, and to be transparent, something I'm working to get to the next level at as well.
It's a never-ending work in progress.
Yeah.
But I think it's important we kind of start this conversation off by sharing our opinions on why time management is so important in business. So let's start with your thoughts, like on a philosophical level. Why
Okay.
is time management so important when it comes to success in business?
Time is the only commodity that you don't know how much of it you have, and you can never make it up. It doesn't matter. All of us are given the same amount of time each day, and some of us don't make it through the day, right? But those who make it through one day get 24 hours to affect something in their life. And I hate it when you waste my money, but I abhor when you waste my time. Like I would much prefer you say, "Hey man, give me $100 and you could go on," than have me sit somewhere for 2 hours that comes to nothing, have me sit some or drive across town and have nothing come of it. In the words of the 20th century philosopher, I'm reclaiming my time. That's my opinion on time management. Like that's the only thing that you don't know how much you have left. B, you and everybody else has the same amount as far as you know until you get that tap on the shoulder and be like, "Hey man, your time's up. You got to check out." Right? But there's no way to make it up, right? The times that I didn't get to spend with my family because I was out working or out showing properties or out viewing or out talking to contractors, I cannot make that time up. Right. So if someone is coming in to steal my time, to misuse my time, to abuse my time, I have to protect myself and create some safeguards to make sure, I'm going to allow a little bit of time for, some perspective, some things that, hey, may not go far, but I'm going to be very cautious with the use of my time because I know that I can't reclaim that and I can't make more of it.
Completely agree. Completely agree. For me, time management is about maximizing productivity and ensuring that every moment is used effectively to move the business forward. Everyone has the same amount of time. The billionaire and the homeless man, they both have the same amount of time. It's just about how you use your time and the way in using every tool available for you for complete maximization of the time that you have is just I'm fascinated by the idea of saving an hour or,
Yeah.
or saving a week or a month. Like that to me is way it's just way more important even than the amount of money I'm making for a particular transaction, because I know that if an hour is saved or a week is saved or a month is saved, that same one transaction that I might have lost a little bit of money, I can make 4 or 5 times that, because that gives me a chance to get more business in one area or something else. So I just think, like, if you really want to like scale, we talk about getting to 6 figures or even 7 figures. It's this idea of time management and managing your time is so important because that's what allows you to scale,
Yeah.
right? So that to me, I think this is like just so timely,
Yeah.
no pun intended, that we talk about this and really try. My goal today is to really add value to the listener. Like, what are some practical things that you can do that we've done, that some of the tips that we've tried, which again, it's always trial and error, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is, and that's the thing too. I think it's really important is we can, like, there's a lot of judgment, right, where some people might give you like this very strict approach to time management, and you feel like, man, if I'm not doing that, if I'm not waking up at 4 a.m., or I'm not doing this or that, that somehow I'm not as effective. I have a coach, and I'm going to talk about something that he does. He says he wakes up at 8 a.m. every morning.
Yeah.
He gets a full 8 hour, like he's like, I'm not waking up. Y'all can't. I'm
Yeah.
not, because he knows his body, he knows his energy system, and he knows that there's multiple ways to get to the finish line. Like,
Yeah.
you have to do what works for you.
So when you first start out and you're trading your time for dollars,
Right.
and as a solopreneur, that a lot of times is where you're at. Is
Yeah.
you're using your time, you're using sweat equity to gain a footprint, to gain market share, to develop a brand, to gain customers. If you're starting a church, to witness to people, to
Mm-hmm.
do Bible studies, to like everything that you're doing, you're leveraging your time for some kind of return. But as you go level up, you have to then begin to reclaim your time and buy your time by leveraging and paying someone or implementing a system that will cost you to give you a portion of your time back.
Exactly.
And the higher level you go, the more you'll have to do that. And you'll get to a point where you'll have what people call the 4 hour work week or whatever, because now you're no longer using your time for money. You're using money because you've grown your business to a place where you could use money to give you more time and move the business forward without you having to be in it. You don't have to run the business, but now you don't have to be in the business, but you just work on the business. And when we get to a point where we're working on the business, when we're thinking, 1,000 foot view strategies of what's next, that's when you'll have people that are working with you to get you to the next level. And that's when sometimes I feel guilty with the amount of time that I have. If I'm honest, like I'm like, man, dang, I really could be doing something. But I have to check myself and say, yeah, you are doing something. You're hanging out with your sons. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to tournaments. You're going out to dinner. You're hanging out with your wife. You guys are watching a movie together. You're going out to dinner. Like these things I was not able to do at one time because I had to leverage my time for resources. But
Right.
now that I have some resources, I could deploy the resources to regain my time.
I think that's an important thing to discuss, and I'm going to dive into a concept that I learned from a business coach that I currently have now. But I think what you just said was really important, because when you first start off in business, it's like you're working 14, 16-hour days, right?
Yeah,
Monday through Sunday, just grinding, just trying to build the business up. But the thing that we have to understand as entrepreneurs, when you transition from being a W-2 employee to being an entrepreneur, is that it's not linear. Like the progress is not linear. So you think, man, you're not gonna be working that hard for your entire time in business. A lot of times
yeah,
you're gonna be putting a lot of work in at the front end, but that sort of compounds, and then eventually that work begins to build upon itself to where you now have an excess of resources, an excess of funds, or an excess of systems that you've kind of developed over time, where now you're like, you look at your calendar and you're like, whoa, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm just, or you don't, when you get to that place, then you have to kind of recalibrate and say, okay, what's my next goal and what do I have to do to achieve it?
yeah,
But you're not in that same sort of rat race, building it up from scratch, just trying to survive. You kind of get out of survival mode, and then you dive into more strategic, and that's strategic and something that's scalable.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, I mean, and you have to approach those 16-hour days with a delusional mindset that I'm going to make it, and everything that I'm doing right now is going to be worth it. And you're going to be tired. You're going to be cranky. People are going to be upset that you're not around.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be missing you. People are going to, you're going to lose some friendships, some relationships. For those who don't understand what it's going to take to get to the level that you want to get at,
Mm-hmm.
you're not everybody's going to be able to go up the mountain with you, but you have to be steadfast in your mindset that, yeah, this is for a reason. This is for a purpose. This is bigger than me. This is either for my legacy, for my future, for my family, or for me to get to a better place in life. So yeah, you're gonna have to endure those times. And when that dissipates from having to spend 16-hour days to now 6 to 8 hour days, you have to be okay with saying, okay, I'm I have to reallocate these hours to something that I want to improve at, like you said. Is it
Mm-hmm.
family? Is it my health? Because a lot of times when we're running, sometimes we don't make time to go to the gym. We don't make the right choices in terms of eating. We're pushing, especially if you're in sales and you're driving, like you're pulling up to, you know, a drive-through and trying to pick between the lesser of evils. Or if you just had a bad run, you're just like, man, let me get some endorphins running. Let me get something sweet or salty or fatty. So yeah, I completely agree that those are some aspects of time management that in the beginning you may not feel like, man, all my time is going to this thing and I'm not seeing a lot of fruit from it, which is what we talked about last episode, a few episodes back, is that you have to be okay with not seeing the results and continuing to plant and sow into your dream, and until it pops. And sometimes it doesn't pop, but it gives you experience and it gives you knowledge that helps you on the next thing.
Yeah.
And, I could tell you the number of businesses that I started when I was a kid to when I was a young adult. I was doing everything from selling digital cameras. I was an eBayer. I was on Amazon. I did a bunch of stuff that taught me something. None of them
Right.
made me six figures until I got into this real estate thing. But all of them taught me something that I now could use both as a real estate broker, a real estate investor, a business advisor, that I wouldn't have known if I didn't go through that time and gain that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.